We're here today with Rod from Bare Bottom Building Inspections, which is the best company name I think I've heard of.
Memorable.
Yeah, it is memorable. Thanks for joining us, mate. We're going to talk today about your company and how you use Hello Inspections. We could probably just get started with telling us a bit about Bare Bottom and how long you've been around for and how many staff you've got and all that sort of thing.
Yeah, sure. Pleasure, and thanks for having me. So Bare Bottom Inspections, the business itself has been operating for a little bit over 15 years now. The business provides building inspection, pre-purchase building and timber pest inspections for people that are looking to purchase properties across any parts of Melbourne, but also we're going to country Victoria as well. We've currently got full-time 4 inspectors. We've got 2 admin people in our office. We operate the office front end 7 days a week. We're online 24/7. We're accessible all the time. The business, I think, because it's been going for quite some years, we do get a lot of repeat business, and we've had some really good growth for the business, particularly the last 6 years or so.
Yeah, you got like 350 odd Google reviews, and so you're obviously very good at reaching out to get reviews after your jobs. But that must help. So when you were starting out, I'm pretty sure when you kind of took over this business, you kind of investigated what apps are on the market and what app you should kind of settle on, and obviously, thankfully for us, you settled on Hello Inspections. What was that process like, and what made you choose us?
No, good question, and it's an interesting story. We acquired the business about 6.5 years ago. I had a corporate background, home improvement background, industry background, and we could identify that the business had had a good brand. It had some small digital presence, but it didn't have any bad brand damage, so we could see the opportunity. And the biggest Achilles heel was the technology.
Yeah.
So, they had one inspector, ex-builder, and he's been with the business for 15 years now. But the technology was very old school. So they had the old, 3 centimetre thick tablet with a stylus pen. Separately, they had a digital camera with a memory card.
Yeah.
So they have to do the inspection. They then need to get their phrases and drag them into the report.
Yeah.
They had to load the chip into the tablet. They had to find the photo that they wanted with the stylus pen, drag it in. So we knew if we could, really take that technology, for the inspection part of it, to the next level, that would be the game changer.
Yeah.
So we did some initial work to see what was available locally, and there was nothing that really stood out. And then did some more research, and we saw there was a couple of things available in the US, and we even actually went to Vegas to the Builders Expo to try and find what was, in the Western world, best practice. And we came back from Vegas with a business hangover, because we didn't have a solution. We learnt some things, which was great, and then we came across the Hello Inspections app, which somehow we had missed in our earlier due diligence, and it's the best thing we ever found, and it's been a game changer for our business.
Right.
It's enabled us to do things more consistently, more accurately, more efficiently, and more quickly, and it's exactly what we're looking for.
Yeah. Well, you guys, from memory, you guys came in with a very organised structure, and we can talk later about how you actually use the app. But I remember when you first started, it was definitely you came in sort of already very organised, and we were able to, I think, load in your templates into the back end.
Yep.
Well, which kind of got you off to a flyer.
Yeah, that's right.
To a good start.
I think luckily for all of the challenges that was in the old technology that was in use, there was a lot of great history. So we had all of the history of the inspections that had been completed, and obviously with the help of yourself, we were able to put those into an Excel spreadsheet And then I suppose just using the old 80-20 rule, 80% of the defects that we used most of the time, we got preloaded into the Hello app.
Yep.
So the actual transition was very seamless.
Yeah.
And it turbocharged what we're then able to do with the
Cool.
reports.
So talk us through your workflow. You said you've got some admin staff and obviously a few inspectors that are on the road. Talk us through your workflow from the time that someone makes a booking, whether it's on the phone or through your website, whatever, all the way through to them delivering, to you guys delivering a report.
Sure. So I think, in this new world, people want, they want to be able to instantly engage with a new service or a new business in the way that they want, at the time that they want. So as a result of that, we've proactively reacted to that, and we've got a number of things in place. So, for example, we've got the 1300 number.
Yep.
Now the 1300 number is 24/7. When our office is open, we answer the phone directly. When we're very busy, we also engage an overload answering service so that the call still does get answered. As soon as we're physically free, we then get back to that inquiry. Some of our clients, they might just want to utilise our website, so we have a pricing schedule there along with a lot of great information, but they also have an option to book instantly online.
Yep.
They have an option to request a sample report, and there's also an option simply to text us, which is great for people that are on the run or they're mobile or whatever. So we sort of give every option on how to get to us and be able to engage us and to actually make a booking. Once we get that, our admin team liaise with the applicable agent or perhaps the vendor if it's off market. They organise the time. We keep our client in the loop along the way, and then the day that we actually do the inspection, they get their report early that evening. So it's same day turnaround all of the time, and that report would go out early evening, like 7 p.m. or so, after it's gone through another audit process as well, because consistency is important as well.
Do you do the auditing?
Yes.
So so at the end of the day, I assume you're kind of on the tools as well, but you're then looking at all the other guys' reports and checking them for.
That's right.
Yep.
Cool. And the good thing about that, it might only little bits and pieces of feedback to the other inspectors, but it's just that continuous improvement and continuity around consistency of presentation as well.
Do you do that by getting them to send you the finished report, or do you go into the app and look at it as they would look at it? Yeah,
so what our inspectors do, whether it's myself or one of the other inspectors, they'll finish their report, they'll do their own last audit, and then they'll upload that to the admin panel. So from their point of view, they're saying they've completed the report.
Yep.
Once we can see it in the completed section, that's when I would go into that part of the app and actually complete the audit, and then I'd tick it off for the admin team to be able to send it out to the client.
So I've seen how you use the templates. We kind of touched on this earlier. That basically came from an Excel sheet. So the way that works, I assume, is that's kind of your starting point for each inspection, and all your guys, like you get consistency because that's like everyone's starting point.
That's right.
So you'll have So do you have a template set up specifically for building and timber pest, and then another one for just building by itself?
Yeah, so we've got our master templates set up. So we've got a master building and timber pest template, a master building template, and then a master pest template.
Yep.
And they're all sort of preloaded with what we call our 6-stage inspection process.
Yep.
So that they're just consistent all of the time, yes.
Yeah, so they have all the things that you would typically find, and then it's kind of like a checklist.
That's right,
for the
and
guys.
as I said, using the 80-20 rule, 80% of what we're going to come across is already preloaded, so it's almost like a prompt to continue the journey this way in completing the inspection.
Yep. This might get a bit self-indulgent, but what's your favourite feature of Hello Inspections?
I think my favourite feature is the flexibility to be able to change the presentation of the report, quite simply. So, for example, we might finish a particular report with the subfloor findings, for example. But we also might have a different element from a different area that happens to have just been put in the report down the bottom, and we look at our report when we're doing our auditing and we think, you know what, it'd be better if when we're talking about the driveway that we should talk about the paths after that.
Yep.
So we can simply go into the app, we can actually move that defect, photos and all,
Yep.
put the paths next to the driveways.
Yeah.
So I think that's a really good feature. And it's a good feature for what we want to do, which is best practice in delivering a premium report.
Yeah.
And I think the other one too, being able to duplicate,
Yep.
a whole defect, photos and all,
Yep.
in the stroke of a button.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a great feature.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that sort of came about because you'll often have, like with like the most common report type is building and timber pest, right?
Yes.
Sometimes you have a finding or a defect that actually belongs in both parts of the report. So I think that's the most common use case where you just go, right, I've got this in the building section, I need it in the timber pest section as well. So duplicate, bang, and then maybe you change a couple of things. But
That's right, yes.
Yeah, then it's over there. That's cool.
Really, really good feature.
Yeah, I
No
think
doubt.
with what you're saying about moving things around as well, like the flow of these reports is really important because they're pretty heavy things. Like there's, being a consumer having bought a property and obviously you get one done and then you get the report and it's like, whoa, this is long. Like, because it's not, long doesn't necessarily mean bad.
No, that's right.
But I know you guys are very thorough and also your clients want as much information as possible, but then that's like, it can be a pretty arduous task reading the whole thing. So if it does flow from one part to another, then that's great.
And I think, my approach in, the way we want to express the report is to be the most effective and efficient way of presenting it. So we're taking our client on a journey of the inspection and we want to see them go on that journey with us. So, you don't want to be talking about a bathroom with issues and then talking about an issue in the garage and then the next one after that we're talking about a kitchen.
Yep.
So you don't want to be all over the shop.
Yep.
You want to present so that it flows and they get a good feel of what they're considering with that property.
Yeah. Do you find, what's the feedback from the clients like in terms of like how they enjoyed the format and the flow of the reports that you?
Yeah, so good question. And look, we've worked hard on this, as you know. I mean, early days we were very non-negotiable about how we wanted our report to look, and
I remember.
we probably butted heads a few times, but we were adamant of how we wanted it presented, how we wanted it branded, how we wanted it to flow, how we needed all this data in there. But then the other probably next big step was during the COVID period where business was pretty depressed. We were still operating, but the real estate market was effectively closed. But that gave us an opportunity to really challenge ourselves as well. And we had the benefit of having access to quite a number of different reports. And we took the time to go through all of those reports to find things that perhaps were being talked about and presented in reports that we could improve ours with.
Yeah.
We also spent quite a bit of time proactively on the phone to past clients during COVID because they had nothing to do either, which was fantastic. So we've got some really good feedback about, if you had the report again, what else would you have liked to have known?
That's good.
Things you would like to have learned that we could perhaps put in there. So we picked up on a lot of stuff that we now include in our report, which is actually not required, but it adds value. I mean, even if it's not a defect, people want to know or see, was all of that frontal wall plumbing operating? Did you check all the doors? So we do a lot more things now to give them absolute comfort that anything that they may be thinking about, we've got it pretty well covered in that report.
Yeah.
So.
Anything else you want to add before we wrap this up? Or?
No, I'm comfortable, mate.
Cool.
Yeah, all good.
Beautiful. Well, thanks for joining us. Rod from Bare Bottom Inspections. I'm Gary from Hello Inspections.
Thank you much. Thanks for having us.